Counter. Strike.
2.
That's all I got, John. Oh, he got the stinger.
Yeah.
Got in there for the stinger.
You
Evil
know
Genius
it.
is Fluffy AIMERS. It's ancient.
It is ancient. It is a pause immediately as we get into ancient. Actually, speaking of the map, I actually like the T-spawn ambience now. There's like some kind of singing going on. I don't think we're going to hear it on stream, but I really
No,
do
we can.
enjoy. Oh, we can? Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's there if we go over. If we go over to
Nice.
T-spawn, you'll hear it.
No, it's nice. I really do enjoy the ambience, the little changes they made to the sound effects and everything. It is more pleasant to be on the map. And again, this map has always given me Aztec vibes, and I think even more so since the switch to CS2, which it means that it has grown on me a lot because I loved Aztec. Missed that map,
See
honestly.
it? Listen.
Oh, I do. Yeah, yeah.
It's like Ocarina vibes, to be honest.
Exactly, yeah. It really is awesome to listen to.
Like, God, the water is so sexy.
It is, yes. It
CS2
is also
water is so sexy. Look, they might have broken a lot of things, but God, did they make the water hot.
Yeah, and it also destroys graphics cards, so that's fun.
You know, just buy a really expensive piece of machinery in order to render pretty water, okay?
I do, Mike.
Yeah, you always have the prettiest, shiniest card you can get your hands on.
Yes, I do. But even then, Mike, even with mine, I have a 3090. It still struggles.
Really?
At certain point, yeah. There's something with the rendering of the water where if there's an explosion in it, lots of particles going up, it really does hit the frame rate hard. I don't know if it's improved since beta. I haven't really tested it since that point. Apparently, they tried to optimize it more. But yeah, there's something there.
I haven't noticed any issues, but I guess the only time I see explosions in water is either canals or Anubis or overpass water.
I mean, there's just a lot of water in T-spawn. I noticed it the most in T-spawn Ancient.
You just don't drop nades very often in T-spawn.
No, but when they're no water. Anyway, let's get into the action here. Evil Genius against the Fluffy AIMERS. I think our pick is Evil Geniuses, Mike.
Yeah, that seems to be the safe money. Jeorge. Hopping a couple on through, looking for more, and this is a shutdown of a pistol round. Holy calzone. Jason trying to find some sort of hope, and he might have just done so.
Yeah.
1v2, players isolated. This is not impossible just yet. It was a 4v1. EG cannot let this one slip. Jason's just begging them to give him a fight, but so far, no dice.
I think the most important thing for the Evil Geniuses right now is try to group up at the very least, or go for a pincer attack. Do not go for 1v1 fights because you could lose this round entirely.
They might honestly let him plant. If he just grabs the bomb and goes towards sight, you can see from the setup, they're trying to avoid getting overwhelmed. Walco's playing so passive.
I don't mind this either.
Look, you're not going to outpatience this team. So Jason's eventually going to have to make a move. And here he goes. Doesn't have armor. Just noticed that here. Makes it all the more impressive, frankly. He was the utility man.
I don't know where he's going to end up now. 27 seconds. He's going to the donut. Feels like he just wants to clear it and then go for the plant. Yeah, that is the plan. But by the time he gets back, look who's here. Hexed with the dualies, and this should be a freebie. It is. Only one shot required. Nice accuracy there. 1-0 for EG.
I like him making it look good, you know?
Yeah.
I bought dualies, only going to use one bullet out of the 30 in the magazines, just to make sure that the dub comes through. Good pistol round on. Obviously, no bomb plant, so, you know, despite almost fumbling the 4v1, all is forgiven. All is good. You did your job, EG. Now you get to start well.
Yeah, which is great for them. I think for EG, you're playing a team like Fluffy AIMERS, who are middle of the pack in ECL. They need a convincing win for themselves here to build up that confidence in Counter-Strike 2. So we'll see if they'll be able to find that. I think, obviously, the Fluffy AIMERS are going to put up a strong fight with Dia and sacrificeee leading that charge, but we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, wow. Good kill coming through from autimatic. A second as well. They're just going to take the initiative here off rip, fighting towards B main from the window peak. There was no presence mid, so why not? And Jeorge catching 2 from the tree means that once again, it is Jason just left alive. He's got a deke at least. We weren't expecting much from this round, but there is really nothing.
Like, yeah, 0 happened here. Jason couldn't even get out of spawn before all his team was completely annihilated. 2 going out towards A main, the other 2 around B. So now he's just kind of stranded in the wilderness. waiting for his fate to come to him. 1 minute left on the clock here. Jason, what are you going to do, man? What can you possibly hope for? Maybe one kill? There it is. There's one. A second, perhaps? No. Too much to ask for. Hex gets the last frag, and it is 2-0 for EG.
And you'll note Junior as well just bought the USP in that round. And by bought, I mean didn't buy.
Yeah.
Which is because he wants an op. He wants an op. He was confident in his teammates that his gun would not be required. And so now he's got the big green for the first gun round. This is something we've seen EG do quite a bit. It's unusual for current meta. I mean, some teams are even just staying away from the op altogether. I was watching Movistar Riders earlier today over in the European side. Martinez isn't buying the op anymore. At least on, I think it was Vertigo. He didn't buy it once. Mopla is actually up more than he did, and that's a radical departure from what we're used to seeing. So some teams are just completely fading away. Junior, he's not about that.
No. I mean, he's embracing it. He's number 2 in the league right now on op frags per round at 0.39, and 46.1% of his frags come with the op. I think that dropped a little bit from CSGO, but like maybe by 1 or 2%. Nothing major.
Who's number 1, John?
Number 1 is Kojimo.
Interesting. There you go. All right, America's offer. Walco getting a couple big kills here. And learsi even gets tagged up a little bit more than expected. Off that, just random spam. So they are in a tough spot here. Fluffy AIMERS down 2 already. No map control to speak of. Bomb lost in the clutches of the evil geniuses. And learsi doesn't even have health to fight. Gun rounds don't start much worse than this. If you're a Fluffy AIMERS fan. Dia, what are you going to be able to create? They're going to go for a window peek. I don't mind that. The problem is they're going to face into Junior's op, right? It's a pretty good fight for the op. Even with some of the limitations of CS2, it's not going to be pushed off much by that. Dia, I guess. Sure. Is this a save? He just wants to listen to the spawn music, John.
Yeah, I don't blame him. It's quite beautiful. Just got my wires crossed there, by the way. It's actually number 1 in op kills per round is Wolfie with M80 at 0.51. Kojimo is number 4 in op frags at 122.
0.51, presumably per game, right? Or per round?
Per round.
Yeah, okay. That makes a lot more sense.
Oh no! Dia goes down after time!
He does get clock. That's unfortunate. The risk you take saving in that kind of circumstance. And so Fluffy AIMERS, it goes from bad to worse here. Complete non-starter of a round ultimately ends in disaster for Dia. It means that their money is putrid, likely inviting some degree of force buy into this one. And I mean, this one's looking like a train derailment here, John. They haven't just not left the station. They've tried to leave the station and they've jettisoned themselves into the local neighborhood.
This is yeah. 4th round of play. Evil geniuses are truly coming out with a nice showing in the early goings here of Ancient. Nade's gonna pop that smoke. Jeorge takes down Dia in A main, throws the Molotov, and he's going to patiently wait for more targets to come to him.
That's a gun outside of the cave. This could get spicy, John. Could be a little bit of heat on this one. Jason, one of the only players who's been able to create, but it was learsi this time who connected with the Deeg to crack his goose egg. And now, what can he do with it?
Yeah, I would even, we'll get back to my point after. I'm digging through some stats right now. Automatics waiting towards mid. Jeorge coming to meet him. I guess I have a moment here.
You do. They're playing really slow in these first 4 rounds.
I just want to say, I don't think Wolfie...
You don't have a moment. It's gone. Moment's gone. Moment's gone. And oh my goodness, with it so's the evil genius defense of A. The patience is rewarded. 45 seconds. Junior wants to get on the line, but look, they're already out. This is going to be a tough spot, tough fight. They want to overwhelm him. They want to take him out of play, and he'll live. Only just. And with Jason's position here in the red room, he's a dead man. He's a goner. No chance there. Hex may just need to save this.
Wow, that was an impressive push towards mid. The pistols taking care of business. 2 frags simultaneously. And once they get that control and donut, and of course in that cubby towards mid, I mean, they have A free and clear for the taking. Only Junior in their way. And there were just too many targets for him to look at. Too many angles with that AWP. Hex just going to save the AK, which is a good idea. He can drop that over for someone else. I think they might be able to buy up an op. Maybe Hex can buy that op for Junior. I'm not sure, and keep the AK. One way or another, the Fluffy Aimers have gotten on the board in a very big way, and they get some free upgrades in their hands. Now, the stat point I was going to bring up actually is that 0.51 op frags per round for Wolfie on M80 is all in CSGO, and we know that it's going to be much harder to get that many op frags per round in CS2. So I would argue that Junior is in fact number one with that 0.39 that he has.
I think that's reasonable. I mean, M80 haven't played a game since like August.
It's been a long time.
They've been in Europe. They had their Pro League campaign. They're playing in Thunderpick, or not Thunder. Yeah, they're playing in Thunderpick right now. They've been boot camping for a long time. Excited to see the fruits of their progress when they do come back into the league, presumably after Thunderpick. But we'll see. Peeping burning heavily early on, but Hexed will be punished a bit by the util as well. That was just straight on to B. autimatic picking up the AUG, trying to hold court here in mid, but it will have to be a little bit of a retake if EG want to hold on to this map positioning. In the meantime, a lot hinges on Walco here in Cave, and peek it back in for Junior. Diaz going to punish that. Op now up on the other side. And that's second as well, as autimatic gets a little bit too excited for the peak. So the red room control is disastrous now for EG. They're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Dia, speaking of a player who decided to really fall off the op considerably, he only has 30.9% of his frags with the AWP compared to 45 plus in CSGO, but he's rocking it here. 3 frags already, all of the frags, in fact, in this round going his way, and now they've got any site. They could choose which one they want to go to. B is stacked, of course. Evil Genius is gambling here, and it's not a bad gamble, because that's where the Fluffy Aimers appear to be leaning towards. With 39 seconds left, it's probably going to come here.
Walco trying to rock that off, is smoked off. We'll need to reposition. Kills just yet. It is, in fact, everybody ending here. Hack's trying to make a play, but the hail of bullets through will eventually catch him before he can even get through the smoke. Walco will have to try and save this AWP, but that's Fluffy Aimers, a commanding round now on the board, and back-to-back rounds where they've actually kept a surprising number of bodies up, rather. I mean, 5 in this one, obviously, but considering the last was an eco, 4 players survived, and there will be no escapees from the EG side. This is starting to look good for FA.
Yeah, this is what we saw last time when Evil Genius were against Nouns, right? When Nouns ratcheted up the pace, EG struggled to kind of defend on their CT side, and that seems to be happening here with Fluffy Aimers. Yes, on their eco, it was a slower start, but then they exploded outwards and EG didn't really respond. Here, it was just straight on, going into the B site, not only B site, also mid, and just taking care of everyone. Dia in particular with that AWP, the 3K to kick things off. It's looked great. And yeah, Evil Genius is going to have to adapt and adjust here. It looks like they want to go for the force buy, which is not the usual style for EG, so that is a change. Usually they would go for an eco in this situation, but they're risking it a little. Again, I'm surprised not to see the shotguns more prevalently used in these types of situations, but they're still favoring the deagles, which deagle and pistols, which I don't mind, but we'll see how that pans out. Dia, by the way, Mike, number 2 in ADR this season at 88.9. The other player who's also in the top 5 is Junior at 87.5 at number 4.
Hard to do his offers, too. That's impressive.
Yes, that is very impressive.
Which reflects their fragging output to this point. 40 seconds. The slower pace of play here may actually work out for EG. Smoke in. That's going to stall them out in Cave. They have no map control towards A. This is going to get interesting. Great scout shot from Junior. He was waiting for that exact peek coming through from Dia. Now they got to be on notice. Could see EG start to rotate in. You can see autimatic starting to hedge. Just a little bit, but not nearly in time. Walco wanted to play forward, and that's going to cost him. Good tag from the scout. Molotov on. Peeping gets away from it. They do clear Cave. Free smoke up. There's no nades to clear this. Could use a pop here, and the bomb's going to go down with 5 seconds to spare. It's got real frisky for a moment, but now EG are locked out of sight and retaking with just pistols. It's going to be a tough ask. Let's see if they can make it chaotic at least. Because they are going to commit into this. They came too close to back away now. learsi, good for 2. Sets up the third as well. And Junior with just a scout. He's going to back away.
Yeah, and only 21 HP as well. This is the right play for him to make, but he's going to have to get further away than this. Obviously, that bomb explosion radius is very large now on Ancient. You have to be extremely far away, and now he should be safe. Yeah, there we go. He's good. And the rest of Fluffy Aimers also surviving here. And FA, 3 rounds in a row now, and they've had only at most 2 players dead in any of those 3 rounds. That was the one where they had the 2 players. The other one, they only lost 1 in 2 rounds ago, and then none in the previous one. So Fluffy Aimers looking strong and building up that economy, as you can tell, with learsi at 10k before he buys up here. EG, they're on an eco. You got the Scout, the Deagle, the 5.7, and another Deagle available to them. I mean, this is when Fluffy Aimers start to get themselves on the board with this type of buy. We'll see if they can do the same on EG. Autimatic. Just wants to hold the angle, it seems, towards Donut, and Jeorge the same at A main. Dia peering around. He's got the big green once more. Molotov going to get tossed for CT. XU coming. Jeorge is ready for this one. He could do a lot of damage if he comes in at the right time. Timing the key. And no, he does not. autimatic does get the wand. He go on to Dia. Offer down. AK singing along for learsi. autimatic and Hex get naded down to very low health. In fact, just the AK bullets getting him down to that health. And Sacrifice gets autimatic afterwards. So it's only Junior left who will be down shortly. That's it.
Well, the round doesn't have questions. My question is, what was that audio we were hearing back by A main? Was there like a gun clipped into the wall or something?
I'm not sure. There's been some weird audio yeah, well, there have been some audio glitches that I've heard as well, where not something strange happening. In that case, when something was clipping into the wall, who knows what it was, just positional audio being really odd, where you think someone's close and they're not even near you. So it's you're peeking at the wrong times, and you're going around those corners thinking that you have an advantage when no one's there, and then you lose that advantage. So there are issues with, well, everything in CS2 right now.
Yeah, but I think that one was more about something being clipped into the wall. But yes, I agree with you. Audio is definitely something that is being refined right now. Seems like the occlusion settings they've been working on has maybe led to some confusion.
Yeah. But we'll get there. I have confidence we'll get there eventually. It's a matter of how much time it'll take.
Question of when. Battle here in mid. Double B main peak. Not going to work out there. And losing Hex out of Donut with nothing. This is really looking dire for the Evil Geniuses. They're just getting run over. There was nothing particularly fancy about that take in mid. Fluffy Aimers just waited out the initial salvo of utility and then killed everybody.
This is a really... I was going to say if Junior goes to B, that's a really good read, but he actually goes towards mid. He's watching out what's happening there.
They were there.
I totally understand it. I totally understand it. Just once you get that initial frag, they realize, okay, there's one player here. Probably B's more vulnerable with Junior not being there. Anyway, I think they just have to play together because they have to save here. There's no reason to try and go for this one. It'd just be too costly. And look at, again, a great start from EG, 3-0, but Fluffy Aimers, 5 in a row.
Yeah, very impressive. And I mean, that round in particular is distressing for the Evil Geniuses because you had the read. You have 2 players playing out of cave to go for the fight and towards elbow. You have the 3rd player set up Donut to potentially read and react to it. So you're making the right play. You're making the right color. Maybe you don't have all the utility that you'd want for it necessarily, but why not? You probably had the funds to make it happen. And they lose the fights. At the end of the day, you can set up as many plays as you want in Counter-Strike. But at some point, you got to win the fights, and that one was did not go their way.
Oof, all right. Well, Evil Geniuses, yeah, that's a good time to call a timeout. Tactical timeout being used by EG to talk things over and say, hold up a second, guys. We shouldn't have lost that round. We had the read. We had the jump on them, and we still couldn't get the frags we needed. Junior's got the op, of course, and Jeorge saved over the M4. Everyone else, I'm assuming, will be forcing up around this because you don't have as many rounds to kind of recover that CT economy as you used to with MR15 in MR12. So I think now's a good time to get a buy up going. At least upgrade pistols, maybe get some SMGs in there. Personally, I would just go all in, but we know EG can be very conservative.
They do tend to be. That's no reason to hit panic just yet. You just lost 5, bro, you know? Maybe a little bit of panic.
Yeah.
They got some decent utility around this. The thing is, they're not going to shift up the spots at all. Junior's going to get more aggressive at the AWP and mid, but you still got the rifle anchoring A. You haven't shifted anyone really around the map. This is still very defaulty, but we're getting the aggression. Okay, here we go. Junior's going to carry forward.
Junior, the first one, is weird.
This could be real weird because the bomb's down.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to want to progress much further than this. They've now cleared elbow. They're leaving Junior. What's happening now?
I don't understand leaving the op by itself here. I think he will hear the footsteps. At the very least, he'll get information here. Yeah, he's within range to maybe hear an inkling of what's going on. Definitely once they get into Donut, they'll get information that something's happening towards A main. And they are in a good position to rebuff this attack.
4 players here. Rifles here. Ops ready to respond. Here comes the exact. The stack's in the right place. They've read it right. That Molotov. That's really unfortunate. Big miss. And Jeorge Rattle can't do anything about it, but his teammates have picked up the slack. Autimatic in particular putting in some work right now. Fluffy Aimers might be realizing they're in trouble. CZ can't bring it home. The soften up damage won't matter when it's an op on the other side. Need a hero. Autimatic's already been that. Op section out by a Molotov. Bomb is down. Walco's repositioning to come from spawn, and meanwhile, Sacrifice just takes the initiative here. What are they going to be able to do? Sacrifice is so low. Bullies might as well be shotguns. Shadow gives him away.
He still
can't land
gets
it.
that?
Can't land the shots. He just gets the swing. Walco does not take the swing. He's trying to anticipate him coming into the angle, and that just ain't how it works in this game, baby. So Fluffy Aimers going to be able to bring this one through, and that was looking dire for just a moment, but as we've seen so many times, EG just can't get a handle on it.
Yeah, EG were so good at holding angles in CSGO, but in CS2, you just can't do it anymore. You have to be a little more aggressive. You have to be moving around. Just move your feet a tiny bit, a fraction, to kind of get that adjustment made as the peak is coming around that corner and give you that moment to react to what's about to happen. But yeah, I mean, I don't think Sacrifice should have survived that fight. He had very low HP. Walco probably should have been able to finish him off, especially seeing the shadow. I mean, you can anticipate that pre-fire. All right, well, 6-3 in favor of the Fluffy Aimers, who have completely turned this half on its head. I mean, they've got plenty of cash. I think for the remainder of the half, they'll be able to buy no problem. Over on the EG side, this is where you need to put a stop to what the Fluffy Aimers are bringing your way. Otherwise, this could quickly get out of hand, and yeah.
I think the big concern is, okay, Walco going to get run down on. He's good for the first. Swapping to the util. Very awkward there. Wasn't expecting the second player in. That's unfortunate for Walco, but Junior's going to be able to keep it in their advantage, at least for the moment. But look at the reaction from Fluffy Aimers. They're already rotating the bomb. They're already shifting up. They're taking space in towards A main. The cave player's coming back out. This is going to shift very quickly into an A take.
Oh, that nade was very chonky, though. Jason goes down to 46 HP, and yeah, I mean, they're going to be on this A site, which has very little defense. Jeorge is there over in Catacombs, but the other closest player is autimatic at long B. So, I don't know. Smokes are coming in. They're going to fake this. They're faking this. I love this decision for the Fluffy Aimers. They have a full minute on the clock. Hex could get caught out here if he doesn't hard clear this angle. He is going to, and Sacrifice looks away at the wrong moment. All right, well, now the jig might be up.
Talk about getting timing, but how do they read that position, right? Because that could still be to control the donut rotate. Now, if they're gigabrains, they should read based on the fact that he was looking towards mid. Likely was a rotate. But they don't really need to respond to that just yet. 25 seconds. There's so little working in the Fluffy Aimer side. This one should be done. Settled business. It's all on peeping. Damage is huge here if he can do it, but no. So EG escape with players healthy, with a team ace to get their first gun round in 7 rounds on the board.
That is wild. And to think, if Sacrifice is looking in the right direction, I think he might win that fight, and then it would have been super problematic for EG because they would have had no information as to what's going on. They had to judge maybe that they were going for an A hit based on those smokes, and then Fluffy Aimers would have had a clear path towards B, where likely maybe one player would have been able to make it there, but late. So yeah, I mean, finally something swinging the way of the Evil Geniuses. They get a 4th round. Fluffy Aimers, they're looking a little more dynamic right now. All right, autimatic gets 1. Jason gets the 2nd. So it is a trade coming through. 4v4. Jason eats the nade. I think he got spotted. There was a flashbang in the mix, I believe, as Hex is just waiting here right outside of Red Room. Oh, Jason's just eating utility right now. No bullets doing damage to him, just nades at 6 HP.
He's picking shrapnel out of his teeth right now. But he's going to gain the space, and the space is what matters. As long as he stays alive in it, he can hold a lot of this rotation. Gives his team some options. Minute on the clock. Milling about here.
Ooh,
okay.
Away spot there. Not sure if that was accidental.
That's the old hit your keyboard with your mouse.
Yeah.
Oh no, and the overlook. Ooh, spotted an ankle. Bit fortunate there for Hex. Did not seem to be aware of the possibility, but had a recognition in time. Now they're in towards B, ready to defend. It's a little passive, and that's a big kill from Sacrifice. Hex realizing they were caught out of position, trying to get back into it. We'll keep the numbers in their favor, but the bomb will be planted at 2v3. Big one as well for Fluffy Aimers.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's winnable here for them. Defending this site. Walco waiting for reinforcements to arrive. I mean, Junior with the AWP makes it a little bit tougher to go for this retake, but it isn't a man advantage. Walco needs this, and he's got it. Another important one comes through. learsi, last one standing, at least finds one, but he'll be overloaded. There it is. The Evil Geniuses. Great retake. 5th round picked up, and now they're looking like they're back in business. Just hold the defuse, Walco.
Nah, take it a couple more times. Everything they can in this last round.
Oh my gosh.
Last round of the half. See if EG can bring it tied up. It's a little tough to read the sidedness of this map right now. Yeah. So don't read too much into any of that. Momentum is what we're looking for. If EG can keep this momentum up going into the half, then things are looking a whole lot better.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what their T side will yield here on Ancient. Anyway, Fluffy Aimers going for a fast play into A main. Is that Nate going to do damage? No, it was a little behind pretty much everyone who was charging in there. Jeorge, I don't think you'll realize how many players are potentially here, but Fluffy Aimers, despite all those audio cues being given away, are going to fall back here. There's a lot of map control for the Evil Geniuses. Look where Walco is. He's all the way towards mid. No one knows that no one's there. He is smoked off by his own team smoke towards that B double doors, but this is a pretty good setup for EG. It's getting better by the moment.
Yes, indeed. Util sailing over. Smoke in. That's a nice nade. Autimatic. That flashbang's timely, but he actually gets away from it without being punished. So advantage EG, though it looked a little touch and go there for a moment. They're down a lot of their utils. The problem, there's no more smokes for EG, so no stall out util. Going for the double cave setup and not seeing anything towards mid with the donut presence. They're going to shift Hext over as well. So they got the numbers here. They got the AWP here. It's a tough angle at this mid-range fight. Oh, the timing! Junior comes off the angle at the worst moment, but Walco is good for it. The shadow gives 2 away, and the swing back in sacrifice. Oh, running these mechanics right now, but he will be caught all in Dia. He had already found the first he needed, but he's got to get 2 more here. And in 10 seconds, he has no time. He can't win this. He actually can't win this. I'd lost track of the time. Clearly, they had as well. Dia out into the fray, just has to force the bomb down to dirt. He's lost it, and he knows it. He's hunting, and he will not be able to find Jeorge in time. The round is over, and we're off to the break.
love it, you wear it. What's your style? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com.
There's fire in the atmosphere, moving in synergy, this electricity. The power of the pioneers, tearing through history, this is our destiny. We are the power, we are the change, we are the pioneers of paradise and fame. We push you louder like hurricanes. We are the pioneers, we are the pioneers.
Second half, and nothing to separate these two teams, John. It was looking like it was all fluffy aimers for a while there, but EG find their spine, stand up to them.
Yeah, it was 3-6-3 in terms of how the scoring went. 6 in a row for the Fluffy Aimers, and Evil Geniuses split their rounds up from beginning to end. We'll see if they can get on a little bit of a roll here on their T side. Again, they do like to go for these more slow, methodical plays, even on pistol round. They are lining up 3 players into cave. This is exactly what Peeping and Sacrifice are set up for, though. Let's see if they hit the head. There's one for Sacrifice. They don't even clear Peeping. And already a 5v3 in favor of the Fluffy Aimers. Automatic, deleted, Sacrifice gets
Wow.
Junior. The round is already over.
Looking like a rinse repeat of the first half in some ways, without the late thought that something could be on. But here we go. A little bit of juice here back into the half from the Fluffy Aimers. Reminder, this is Fluffy Aimers map pick. And they're showing why so far. Good feel for Ancient. My feeling from the first half, John, was that genuinely Fluffy Aimers seemed to have a better handle on fighting in CS2 early on.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be the case against pretty much every team that EG has been playing as of late. And I'm not entirely sure why. I mean, yes, of course, it's going to take them a little time to adjust, but I think it's also the way they set themselves up, not just the way they're taking these fights. Anyway, Jason, going to be waiting here in Donut. Okay, he's a little exposed. We can back off. Blocks could be enough to finish him off. And, well, Autimatic finds Peeping with the Galil, the one rifle perched up in the round. Yes,
someone just calmed to Walco. Hey, bud, you got the bomb. They need to get a plant out of this with how much space they've taken. They're going to be able to do so. So this is already a successful round. Now the question is, what else can they find off of it? Damage would be huge, be massive.
Nice
Automatic
swing.
doing exactly that. And this round is very much in doubt. An extra gun can be picked up for Walco here. eventually.
I don't think they get this round.
Shouldn't do. It's a tough spam angle. They planted it wide to make sure they were safe for the donut player, so they are going to be able to defuse right under their nose. The autimatic may even just try and get out of here with the rifle. Won't be able to do so, but still, 3 kills. Bomb plant, that is a massive result, considering what they bought into the round.
Yeah, definitely hits the economy of the Fluffy Aimers pretty hard, but it's still an 8th round found for FA. Evil Geniuses will be able to buy up here. autimatic already forced in that previous round, but with the money they built up from that bomb plant, he's still okay. 4 AKs and the Galil on their side, and pretty much full util as well. So let's see if they can get back into this half immediately after this hot start again from the Fluffy Aimers. 4 A1Ss and a Galil, picking that up from the previous round, and there's a nade that sails in and doesn't do any damage at all, just the timing off on that one. Evil Geniuses have 3 players set up outside B. The other 2 are lurking around A main and elbow into mid. We'll see what they decide to do. It could just be a pincer attack towards lane and elbow, which I wouldn't necessarily mind to get that control of mid. And they're smoking off cave as well. There's a counter smoke though. Here's that slow, methodical play from Egypt.
The difference is they have a massive util advantage right now. So the first salvo goes out, but they've got so much more to work with. And here's the economic problems for FA. They've got nothing. They literally do not have a nade. There is no flash. There is nothing to slow this down. So EG are using it right now. They've taken Jaguar. Haven't really got anything to show for the nades they're throwing yet. Another salvo in towards B. 2 players on the site. They deal with learsi. They leave Dia in a really tough spot. Molotov, he's ticked. They know he's here. Do they clear the second player? Gotta do it. And they do indeed. Walco, good presence of mind. So here it goes. They use the utility to create that pressure point in towards cave. And then they punish. Bomb down. autimatic still lurking on the periphery. Takes 1. Should seal the deal on this being a retake. Sacrifice wants to give it a look, and clearing out that lurker gives them a chance, but Jason's just too far gone to even think about going for this.
Yeah, I mean, he's way out of the picture. I imagine EG is going to want to chase a little bit, not too much, because their money's not too great. But Jason is likely going to tuck himself into Donut and sit himself down and have a snack. Because there's nothing else for him in this round, and EG do make good on their first rifle buy-up and pick up a 7th. Definitely agree with you there, Mike. There was a lack of utility for the Fluffy Aimers. Really did kill them in the end because EG had a full set to execute onto B. There was no response that Fluffy Aimers could bring in that direction in terms of util, and they just lost all of their fights. A nice peak as well from autimatic in doing the damage.
Well played in that round. I know the Fluffy Aimers, I mean, their backs are going to be against the wall economically, so they'll invest back in around this AK. It's double eco for several players, so why not chase it at this point? Let's see if they can get anything out of this round. Got the emphasis on the SMGs. They've again opted for weaponry over utility, which means they just don't have much to work with here. Down to 1 smoke. They're fortunate that a kit was brought over from the last round by Jason, but this one's going to be tough, John.
Yeah, no question. I mean, like you said, Jason's got the AK. Yep.
The timing. learsi went for a peek right as the player pulled off. Everybody's here. It's a full stack on. EGD haven't really done any due diligence. They just rinse repeating the last round, right? They've now taken this cave presence. But they don't know what's happening across the map, and now Hex gets leading cave. They don't have to commit in. Jeorge takes some substantial damage, and meanwhile, autimatic wandering up into mid. He's taking the space. So now this is the secondary plan. This is plan B. And autimatic has yet to encounter resistance over towards A. It's just peeping back a sight.
Yeah, 40 seconds left on the clock, so they will have to make a move soon. And peeping, something alerted him to this possibility because he was leaning towards the B side and said, oh, hold on a second. A could be the final destination. He's absolutely right, but he's in Catacomb, so we can't really deny much. I assume EG is going to be watching this. They have 3 flashbangs, but no smokes and no Molotovs.
That is the big problem. Nothing to control choke points makes the A site very difficult to defend. And Jeorge is low. The SMG just needs to land a bullet. Numbers are punched in, but they're not long for this world. They're in such a tight choke point, such a pain point right here, but Jeorge is still somehow finding impact. All on automatic. Needs to land these shots. He's done so, but jumping around the box. Peeping is the key piece to keep him in it. Look, it's going to be close. It's not going to be pretty, but Fluffy Aimers are going to win a very important round.
Absolutely. And I mean, look, that was a force buy coming through from them again. And this is why I'm saying sometimes it's better just to risk it in CS2 because you have a lot of opportunities with that peeker's advantage if you're aggressive to try and get the jump on your opponent. And that's what the Fluffy Aimers did. A few timely peeks towards that B site. One in cave, I think, was the most critical. And then peeping, waiting at A, having the presence of mind to think, okay, hold on a second, we have no one here. I need to wait in catacombs. And of course, EG not having any smokes or Molotovs means they can't really section off any angles and have to watch 3 different ones. I mean, even 4 if you consider A main, which is extremely difficult and eventually getting overloaded. So EG still enough to buy up, but that is going to hurt. Good trade, at least from Walco, to take Jason down to make it a 4v4. But look at the presence at mid. All 4 players are at mid right now for the Fluffy Aimers. Wow.
They're ready for this. Gonna be able to fast respond in towards A if it comes this way. Good kill for Dia. Traded out instantly. But as we said, the cavalry's gonna be here quickly, and Peeping's already on the angle. There is no smoke for CT. They're punished for it. Great shots from Peeping. When the smoke donut fades, this is, I mean, disaster. Right? Meanwhile, Hex is making his way up B. No way he can help his teammate right now, so Walco's just gonna have to stall out. Trust that Hex can make something out of this lurk. They should know they have the bomb down, right? So there's no need to panic rotate, though no one's holding it, so theoretically it could have been retrieved.
I mean, right now, look, Peeping's watching this. Walco has to make some noise or give Hex some space to work with here. I know he might end up dying because of it, but if Hex can come out and help him, there it is. Well, Hex gets 1, but Walco's gone, so that's still a tough ask here. 1v2.
Had a player drop out of the server. Oh, and he's going to be learsi to take through the final kill. All good on the Fluffy Aimer side. They're letting him know it as well, as without a bomb plant there, the bank has run out for the Evil Geniuses. Prime scenario going on right now for the Fluffy Aimers.
Yeah, sacrifice dropped out here, but it should be resolved very quickly. It's another thing we've seen a lot of lately is just players crashing.
Yeah, you know, fully released stable game.
God.
Fully released stable game. For a while, you couldn't rejoin if you did crash.
I know,
the
I saw
reconnect
that
button
too.
wasn't working for a full patch.
Oh no.
It's theoretically working again, which is chill. Nothing more fun than losing Premier Elo because you literally can't get back into the game that it crashed you out of.
That's brutal. I think it was Hex that had that problem, if I'm not mistaken, a little while ago. Well, Evil Geniuses having even more problems in this match. Fluffy Aimers have got their groove on here. 10-7 of the first ones hit double digits, and they've got a pretty good buy-up compared to what Evil Geniuses are bringing to bear here. It's just going to be pistols, and there's a Molotov that Walco goes right through. Eats util, eats bullets. He's gone in the first 10 seconds. Keeping coming around looking for more. He's hungry, and he's got it. Automatic, drop to the ground. learsi gets another one. It is all Fluffy Aimers with only Junior left. And no longer. Wow, 11-7.
Clean as a whistle.
Oh yeah.
We're getting to the waning moments now. This 4-round lead with just 2 to find. This investment for EG is going to be everything. There's still going to be limitations in this one because Fluffy Aimers are bringing the guns back over. There's no reason to risk it too much, right? They know it. And certainly the SMGs can work here. So why not, John? Why not try and get it done with the MP9s?
Yeah, go for it. I would be aggressive if I was Fluffy Aimers here because Evil Geniuses are always hanging back. And I mean, Fluffy Aimers at this point, like you kind of mentioned, mechanically, they feel like they're winning most of the fights and they look more comfortable.
They're
Walco.
initiating.
Yeah.
Just the reality of CS2, you got to be the one on the move.
Look at learsi.
Pressure on the Walco. They've got him totally isolated. Totally isolated here in the cubby. They haven't cleared it just yet, but that's what the SMGs are going to do. Flashbang's good. How on earth?
What?
Oh, the timing for autimatic coming back in. learsi may have sold his teammate out a little bit there. There's a huge play from the window. That wasn't actually learsi. It was from the window. Junior somehow makes that happen.
Okay.
And EG looking like they were in a dire circumstance, but the mid peak comes in the nick of time.
That is Junior with a lot of BM after the frag as well. It's not something you see from him every day, but I think the frustration's perhaps boiling over for the evil geniuses. They're happy to find that. Honestly, a little lucky that they got it because it felt like the Fluffy Aimers had every advantage. The flashbang didn't blind Walco, which was part of the problem, but they should have taken him out. 2 players swinging him like that. Walco gets 1, he gets help. I think it was from Hex around the corner, and then he gets 2 for himself. So good job from EG. It looked like it might have been curtains already, but they do manage to stave off a 12th round for now from the Fluffy Aimers, who will call a timeout to talk things over as to what approach they're going to take in this round. They have been very aggressive with their buys. A force up is viable with learsi and Dia above 4.5k, but you would sacrifice your economy for the follow-up round, and you do have a 3-round lead, so it's not necessary to try and end this right now. And let's not forget they won with the pistols previously in that first half.
They did do. They did do. EG are occasionally susceptible to a little bit of the whoopsie doodle.
A little bit.
And that would be a particularly painful time for that whoopsie.
I like the aggression from Fluffy Aimers right now. Well, Peeping was spotted. Maybe he wants to bait out a push,
Was he?
right? Yeah, he was.
Oh, got the jiggle. All right. K's been lost. Nice kills on. They've actually gained the B site. Junior goes down. Just to the CZ. Must have been a baller peek. Into the op.
Peeping could find Jeorge here. Oh.
Could do. Tough to do. Tough to bring him down. And now the rotations are on. Peeping looking to make a cheeky play in the smoke. But site should be just about claimed. Do they realize Peeping's out on the corner?
No, I don't think they do.
Surely they got to check it on the smoke fade. Oh, he makes his play in. He makes his play in. Peeping, what are you going to get? Nothing. Nothing.
I like the gusto, though.
A lot of chutzpah.
Indeed. Jason. Dead. There it is. 9th round picked up for EG, so, I mean, it was a round where Fluffy Aimers only upgraded their pistol, so we weren't expecting much, and we did not get much. Although, Junior going down to that CZ, right? That made things seem a little scary for the evil geniuses, just the way things have gone lately, even though they still had a significant advantage. But yeah, they closed it out very cleanly, don't lose another body, and now they're only 2 rounds back of the Fluffy Aimers. But here come the rifles for
doing, you know, I really admire what EG's doing here philosophically, John. Clearly, they don't like the swap to CS2, so they're trying to make these games take just as long as MR15 games would. They're really eking every possible second out of every round. Oh, that one's quick, though. Couple hits early on here. We're only 20 seconds into the round, and 2 bodies are on the ground for the Fluffy Aimers, so never mind. EG have had a change of heart. Dia gonna get an answer back. A bit of revenge. Molotov will force them out of the cave, at least for the moment. Meanwhile, look at this from autimatic.
Oh my goodness.
All the way through.
I think he's just going to go wrap.
Why not? How aware of this could they be? learsi's kind of thinking about it. learsi's fully committed to holding this. Does he clear it? He does indeed. learsi, crazy heads-up awareness there. And that's going to cut off what EG were hoping to do. They were hoping to get the pinch in from the backlines. The problem is that they go quiet while these flanks are developing, right? They get the comms from a teammate that, oh, you know, I'm all the way through. Just chill, just chill, just chill. And And so the teammates figure out that something is up. Now Jason's lost in Donut, so
no.
it's back on. Evil Genius can make this happen. And the op shot will land as learsi tried to take the initiative all onto Dia. As EG looked to bring this to 10. So maybe the flank didn't work, but it did clear out the information. And they capitalized. And Dia's going to save.
Yeah, I thought for a moment autimatic goes down, right? And learsi finds that Fluffy Aimers have a chance taking the round, but it's a great response. Like you said, just information gained that was enough for the Evil Geniuses to work with. They get the frags. Junior gets a couple with the AWP, and Evil Geniuses do indeed find double digits. So what was looking very dire for them has now been, well, almost fully recovered. They need to get that 11th round and, of course, convert to 13 if they hope to avoid potentially overtime or even a loss here against Fluffy Aimers. Money's not that great for FA. You have to imagine that they're probably going to go for an eco here around this AK. Don't think there'll be a heavy investment. Timeout going to be called to discuss exactly that.
I say risk it for the biscuit twice.
I kind of agree. I think that it's worth going for.
I actually think I disagree, but I do think it's the funniest potential result.
Well, I'm thinking along CS2 lines here, so perhaps my mindset
Yeah, I mean, you
has
just
changed.
buy up full SMGs or shotties and you rush them.
Yeah, I mean,
could
look,
work.
shotguns are powerful now. They're really, really strong, and I think that I'm just surprised we haven't seen it used more predominantly at the ECL level. I just feel like it's taking time for them to work their way into the actual meta.
Oh, they've been doing it
But
in EU.
I know exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like in EU, they've already picked up that yes, shotguns are very effective, so they're using them. And I mean, I'm sure you're seeing the results in ECL there.
Yep, absolutely. And they a little slower to adapt. Tia gonna be the point man here. Where is he playing? Donut. He's revealed the AK, so I would be wary about this window peek, right? There's no one to actually hold it, but he's revealed the big piece on the board. Can't give it away easily. I try and disguise to taking some main presence. Nothing showing just yet. It's peeping. He's living up to his name as he peers around the corner. But EG are very hesitant to give anything away in this round. Speaking of which, autimatic gets a little tagged up.
Yeah. Oh,
Gotta
Jeorge.
be careful, but
Jeorge.
out on the A they go. Beeping got the first, looking for more. He's got it as well.
That's huge.
Sacrifice has been found elsewhere, so the numbers are still even, but this has gotten messy. The bomb's retrieved. It's backing off. There's players in mid. There's players in window.
This is scary
Learsi's
for
in
EG.
the cubby. These are really cheeky spots. Jason's going to get cleared out. That's good play from autimatic. Heads up awareness. Tries to activate learsi. He's dead to this nade, I think. Indeed he is. And just like that, we are all tied up here. We're going the distance. The full 24, which still feels strange to say.
Yes.
One way or another, John.
Yeah, I mean, but disaster averted for EG, because those were the type of spots that you saw the Fluffy Aimers in, where if you're the last few players standing, even with the rifles, you can quickly get overloaded. One coming on the flank, one up front, and one lurking on another angle that could pincer you in and literally trap you and have you looking every which way trying to find a target, but you're just splitting the difference constantly when you die. But good on Evil Geniuses. Autimatic was the key frag to find that he got, and well, there you go. Evil Genius is all 10 up at 11. Look at the utility damage, though, on Junior and Jeorge, both hovering around half health now. They need to be careful. Well done for the Fluffy Aimers. Back to their full-on buy-up. Diaz got the op. Util is now a little bit light, though. Couple of smokes, a nade, and a Molotov left on their side versus EG, who have way more at their disposal. But HP advantage has been found, at the very least, for the Fluffy Aimers. One more passive here towards mid this time, although a couple players stacked into Donut could catch EG off guard.
Yeah, it's a different look, right? Dia posted up for that window peek. There goes the player, and he collects, shifting the op around. Now he's able to relocate. Big finds on. These little geniuses are being gate checked at the door. Potential victory. It's gonna be the B play. committing to this. Spam on either way. They've avoided the worst of it for now, and this bomb is likely to be planted now. Junior will have to come off an angle in order to punch the numbers in. Popping the smoke. That's bold. No one there to see it. And the spam is good. They find Junior. They pull him off the totem pole. Tried to plant a little wide. Now it's all going to fall to Jeorge. Knows he has to put in the numbers. He's got the first, but there's just no way to survive the trade. Fluffy AIMERS. They came to the brink, but now they have at least secured map point, and they just need one more to take us over the line.
Wow, that was quite a dominant defense there. It all starts with some great nades being tossed, which forces the Evil Geniuses back. They reset themselves, try to readjust and go to B, but I mean, once they get that bomb planted, it just does not go well. Not to mention that the first two players ended up losing were the healthy ones with 100 HP. They weren't the ones that had lost as much health as I think it was Junior and Jeorge from that nade. Oh boy. So it was extremely hard to hold on to that post plant or even get the bomb planted in the first place. Because they didn't. 1:38 on the clock here. Junior, he's got the opsil. They had plenty of cash in reserve, but this could be their final round on Ancient. Junior jumped up on top of the box. Flash and a smoke coming through. Sacrifice has peeked around and taken Junior down quite a few times with that rifle. So Junior is going to fall off the angle. Man, oh man. This would be a great map victory for the Fluffy AIMERS. And as I mentioned, it's a win condition, in my opinion, for them to take this map.
Certainly is, especially after the battle that EG have done to get back to this point. Gunning for the Fluffy AIMERS if they couldn't close here. Jason, this is going to be the fight. This is about which the A-site defense hinges. Peeping, he's in the angle he held with the deagle, but this time he's got a slightly bigger gun. Here comes contact. Oh, they're mowed down. Jason, his position not revealed, but Peeping can't capitalize. Huge play from Jason still. Let's see if they can make anything with it. Sacrifice committing into the smoke, waiting on the fade, and meanwhile learsi is incredibly slow to get involved on this flank. He's wary of someone holding, but he needs to get a move on. He needs to get running. He's going to get caught despite all of his hesitation, despite all of his patience. And now these post plants are so strong. It's all on Adia, who just doesn't have time to bring this through. Doesn't have any smokes, doesn't have anything to block off the angles, needs them to peek, and they're giving him nothing. They're not giving him an inch. And so this round is destined for overtime. One way or another, a triangle of doom is assembled, and we're going for more rounds here, John.
Indeed we are. Evil Geniuses' protest against MR12 continues to the point where they say, we're not playing MR12, we're playing MR15 again here on Ancient. And they get that juicy 12.5k overtime money to boot. So that's going to help them. Yeah, no, that's a great recovery from EG. It could have gone the Fluffy AIMERS way, but I mean, just the force of mind. I mean, autimatic's playing a very solid Ancient. He's had his struggles in the early goings of ECL, but this is one of his better maps. 21 frags, leads the charge on both sides, and has been integral in most of their round victories.
Autimatic.
That's a big miss.
Nimbly dodges the AWP. Tough angle to hold. But still, they will be denied the ground. They're taking in towards B main instead, and learsi punishes. Hex down on the round.
Oh, great shot from Peeping onto autimatic. Nade's going to get tossed here. Jeorge trying to capitalize, and he does for one. The Opper slips away for now as he throws a flashbang. Excuse me, a smoke out and a Molotov. And whoop, Walco's gone too. Oh boy, this is quickly falling apart for the Evil Geniuses. Jeorge continues to do work for himself, though, trying to wrest this site out of the hands of Fluffy AIMERS by his lonesome. The problem is, look where the bomb is. It's going by itself in Junior's hands, and he wins the fight with the Glock against Sacrifice. So now they know the positions of both players, but where do they decide to go? Obviously, spawning the bomb over in Cave. Jeorge finds Peeping. That's a third. Goodness me, what a recovery for EG.
What a recovery for Jeorge.
Yeah.
Just made this happen. Battling back through. They know where the last player is, and the shot will land. So Jeorge and Junior, the full house to bring that back from the precipice of disaster.
Mike, what did we say, right? What did we say pregame? We said, Jeorge, let him loose a little bit.
Yeah.
Take him off that leash. Look what happens. He goes into A by himself and gets 3.
Let Jeorge cook.
Absolutely. He's so good at it.
What we want to see out of this roster. It was the thing we were most excited for when his move over to EG happened. It's like, okay, let's see what they can do with this guy. He was the player, based on his showings in Nouns, who you looked at as that potential superstar talent. We've still seen flashes of it, but it hasn't been consistent.
Yeah.
A no-scope, sure. Why not? Dia, was that from back of red? Just randomly?
I think it was.
Major style points.
Jeez.
He rolled the dice, and it worked out for him.
Rolled a critical hit.
Nat 20. You started playing Baldur's Gate yet, John?
Oh, I didn't. Ah, man. But you got me convinced to play it for sure.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
It's a great
I'll
game.
let you know.
Automatic. Automatic. Just around that lit. No one making a move just yet. 50 seconds now. Automatic comes into the angle, and he's been erased. Walking that tightrope. Laser beams coming down the other way, and Jason. One was not enough, apparently, as Junior's quick to answer and rally, and players flying back into the site can do nothing about this.
There we go.
Starting to take command are the evil geniuses. It all falls to learsi, and though he will pass the first hurdle, there's so much more work to do, and there's just little time in which to do it. He doesn't even have a kit. Your favorite pet peeve, overtime kit buying. He's not doing it, but you can see why. We've come to the last round of this period of overtime, and look at their money, John. There's problems here. The double op has cost them.
It's the double op, not the kits, I think, that cost them. But yeah, definitely they invested heavily into those ops, and this is the result. So you're going to see 2 SMGs, 3 rifles still up. But man, look, excuse me, that's 2 rounds in a row in overtime where EG have been down 5v3 and they've managed to wrestle it back. That time with just a fantastic sequence from Donut. 2 players come up with the frags. Junior is lighting up, and Jeorge, he needs to peek aggressively. Here's a quick hit from ED. Is it going to pan out? It looks like it will. There's Jeorge again. Yes, I love it. 2K coming through. 4v3 in favor of the evil geniuses. Nade sails on forward. Dia will be deleted. Jason and Sacrifice, the last 2 standing. It's looking like a clean sweep for EG in this first half of overtime.
It is indeed. Jeorge just taking command. Taking command here. And now it all falls to Jason to try and keep them off of this T-side clean sweep. There's never going to be a chance for him. Has to get lucky. He knows it. Spam comes through, but the odds, they're not in his favor. So now we swap sides, and perfection is required of the fluffy aimers. No more mistakes can be made here. 1 round lost, and they're donezo on their own map pick.
It's just, you can see the adjustment that Jeorge has made, right? Just in this overtime, he's going out aggressively fighting. He picked up the op, immediately peeked out in the previous round. Not the one we just saw, but the one before that. Peeks out in Catacombs and gets that frag. No hesitation, and that's what EG need more of. They need that one player who's going to go for the peaks, going to go for the aggression in Counter-Strike 2. Jeorge is up to that task. We know it. We talked about it. We hyped him up, and look at the result here in just 3 rounds. Peeping. Going to be charging out. Speaking of which, lots of nade damage taken. That Molotov's great, and Walco finds Sacrifice. Now they really ratcheted up the peaks and the aggression on the EG side. Peeping does win the fight against Hex. Look at the control that EG have into mid. They still have Junior waiting there, who also has been Junior, right? Those great op shots singing for them in overtime.
And the presence from Walco could be huge, right? You can see Peeping's trying to come in to clear this, but Walco's holding for it for the moment. Oh, he sees him. The jiggle in does not work in his favor, so now that cave presence gone, learsi at least will reclaim it. Very important to do so.
Great
Flashbang, that's lethal. Autimatic had no idea what state he was in, and Junior's been slow to get on this flank. Full commit on Jeorge. Grenades to punish learsi ahead of it. Takes the initiative, takes the round. Junior's just so slow into this, so late into this. He no longer has a teammate to play off of, and now he's been spotted spotted, and now he's been dropped on down. Huge round from learsi.
That is such a heads-up play from learsi, right? As you mentioned, the nade's coming in. He says, nope, I'm not going to get hit by that nade. I'm going to take the fight instead, which is the last thing that the player throwing the nade is expecting. And then learsi just catches him completely off guard. 13th round picked up, but Fluffy Aimers need every single round here in this second half of overtime in order to push it to double OT. learsi, Jason, everyone here on the Fluffy Aimers side fragging out, which isn't usually the case. I talked about it. It's very heavily skewed in favor of Dia and Sacrifice in terms of fragging, but seeing everyone perform at this level is a promising sign for the Fluffy Aimers, and now Sacrifice takes down Walco through that smoke. Although a lot of damage taken by learsi in the process. Still 4 healthy geniuses left here. And Hext waiting in cave. Fluffy Aimers have taken their foot off the gas pedal, slowing it down now.
Time ticks off. For the moment, trying to bait out some of that CT utility, which they are getting, to be fair. Looking to pull more, perhaps. Hex takes that. Oh, the flashbang is so
that
good.
flash is
Player
amazing.
painted into the corner, and that could be it. That could be it. Just that one flash could have tipped this entire round. 50 seconds. The players through red. But they spotted him. So they should have awareness of Dia's position and what he can do with it. Still, he's going to slow down the rotations. His positioning could be huge if he stays alive, because it forces them to respect him. You can see how many resources they're committing to trying to clear him out, but Junior discounts the possibility. Loses track, and now there's right back into this. Peek on. The spam is good. That drops the bomb. Time is such an issue here, John. And flying around the corner is Hex. They're out. A nade to pop it. The nade might take learsi out of play. He can't stand in here. In the pocket. And Hex will find the final bullet needed. Evil geniuses have done it. It took the rally back. It took the battle through. It took so much effort into overtime. But they did it, John. They took their opponent's map pick.
They did. And you could see the adjustments being made.